stories of great Christians.
We greet our friends everywhere with Chapter 1 of The Monk of Wittenberg, the story of Martin Luther. This is another in the series, Stories of Great Christians, and is brought to you by the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago. This is the story of the Reformation, that portion of history that has caused so much controversy in the Christian church, but which brought to it the rebirth of truth, which had long lain dormant. Our story may not always be pleasant to consider, but it is true. It is part of history, and these are its facts. The 15th century. It dawned and spread over a world that was grim and decadent. It steered its ugly course over a Europe that was becoming increasingly confused. The people had been gay and had laughed, but as the 15th century unfolded, some of the laughter changed to a smile, and then to a sarcastic grin.
The church has so little to offer this situation. In times past, we've been pure and undefiled, but now we're a mixture of strange rites and practices, molded into the cast of an iron-bound philosophy. Why, even God's salvation carries with it a price tag. Oh, our church.
I know, Father. Now the church that sang Christ's glory in the 1st century has become a marketplace, where morals are bartered like vegetables.
Ah, yes, and so few seem aware. The church does it, so it must be right. What have we done? What can be done to remedy it?
Nothing. Nothing but wait. Somewhere, sometime in our changing world, there will come a leader. Perhaps God is preparing him now.
Oh, I pray he is.
This is a time that calls for God's leader. He will send one. He always has in the past.
If not, we're finished.
Yes, Father. If not, we are finished.
But even as our people spoke of doom, they felt differently underneath. They still had sparks of faith and hope. The torch which Christ had set ablaze awaited God's man of the hour. Some thought they had found him in a man named Huss, John Huss.
Come on, Huss. They want you upstairs.
Huh? Oh, yes.
Were you asleep down here?
Oh, no, I was just thinking.
That's the way it is with you heretics. They can chain your bodies, but they cannot chain your thoughts. They can burn your books and even burn... Well, here's hoping your thoughts are important. They are about your last.
The fire burns brightly, Huss. The fire waits for you. It is hungry.
I am ready.
You are a religious fanatic, trying to tell the church what is wrong with it. There is nothing wrong with the church. You will soon learn that. The church is the church.
Some lost all hope when Huss was burned at the stake. Some turned their attention to other hopes, like the young man Columbus and his strange talk of the unknown beyond the horizon. But in others, hope remained. A hope that realized itself 67 years after Huss was martyred. In 1483, in the very heart of our country, Germany, a boy, the son of a miner, and they named him Martin Luther.
was that boy, that peasant's son. My father, my grandfather, and my great-grandfather were peasants. And that is good. I say only good because there is little sense in boasting of one's ancestry. My father felt that, too. My father, a diligent peasant miner, and yet so firm of character as to be obstinate. A hard-working German.
This is the last one. This is difficult work.
Rest for a moment, Hans. You will become ill with so much work.
You are one to talk. You shouldn't be here at all. The baby only a few days old and you out here. You should be resting.
They need firewood, and I am able to carry it. It is all right, my dear. I am strong.
Fortunately for us all. If only I could get work again in the mines, then we wouldn't have to struggle here in the forest.
There are others who are suffering. They are not unique. Besides, I have faith that our day of good fortune will come again.
Yeah, fate. There's little else we have.
Dear Hans, you are too bitter. We have a great deal of family, little Martin.
Yeah. You are right, Margaret. I was too bitter. We do have much for which to be thankful. In fact, I'm even a little thankful to be poor.
To be poor?
In this day and age, the children of rich people do not often turn out well.
You are right. But Hans, whether we are rich or poor, I know our little Martin will turn out well.
You say that merely because he was born on a saint's day, and just because we named him after that saint.
Of course. Martin of Tours was a saint with deep faith in God.
Saint Martin was known for his kindness and goodness. For the most part, it was an honor to be identified with him. But there were times when I would have preferred never to have heard of him.
Stop that! My coat!
That isn't what Saint Martin would say.
Oh, look what you have done to my coat. What are you talking about?
Isn't your birthday on Saint Martin's Eve?
Yeah, but what has that got to do with
And aren't you named after Saint Martin?
And what if I am? My coat, you ruined my...
I heard that Saint Martin ripped his coat in two to share it with a beggar. Oh. Ha! You do not act like a saint.
To allow your only coat to be ripped past repair.
I think the boy has had enough, Hans.
Enough. We are not rich. The ripped coat is a terrible waste. It is not enough. I will teach this young man the meaning of care.
My father was a good man, and a strict one, and he did care. If he was too strict at times, it was because he was concerned for the future of his children. He used to quote the wise precept, "He that loveth his son chasteneth him betimes." Yeah, my father, though severe, was concerned with the well-being of his family.
Margaret, are the children sleeping?
They were a bit ago when I looked. Why?
Margaret, we must leave Eisleben.
Leave? You must be joking, Hans.
It is no joke to try to provide for a family when there are no means.
I know, forgive me. When do you propose to go?
As soon as we can.
And where?
Mansfeld.
Mansfeld? But that is a good 5 leagues distance from here.
It will be a long journey, to be sure. But there are mines in Mansfeld. Possibly there I can get enough work.
What kind of mines are there at Mansfeld?
Copper mines.
But you have never mined copper?
Mining is mining. And it pays more than wood cutting in the forest.
Well, if that is your decision, we will go.
I want our children to get an education. I was always too poor to study. But I want our children to have that opportunity.
Especially Martin.
Yeah, especially Martin. He takes to books more readily than most children.
Education is not for the poor, Hans.
And why not? Some have done it. Some still do it. God gives us heads so that we may study. Martin has been given a good head. The few things that I can tell him and that he can read from the books I have are not enough. Martin must have an organized education. At least as much of one as a poor miner can afford. We must move to Mansfeld at once.
As I grew, I was given more and more responsibility. My father used to tell me that I had to earn my keep. The discipline of that home had more to do with what I thought in later life than I could ever estimate.
Martin, when I call you, you are to come at once.
Yeah, Mother.
Are you ready to gather wood with me?
Yeah, I have my basket.
Good. We must make at least 3 trips to the forest today. It will be winter soon enough, and we will need all the firewood we can get. Now then, let us be on our way. Oh, wait a moment. Here comes your father.
Ah, my laborers are preparing for work.
Oh, yeah.
Good. At this rate, we shall be the warmest family in Mansfeld.
How was it at the mine today, Hans?
Oh, it is not easy work, my dear. The dust gets into your lungs, and it seems you can never again breathe clean, fresh air. Well, Martin, were you going to help your mother?
Yeah, Father.
Good. Someday soon you will be able to help me in the mines.
Why must we always be so concerned with work?
It is because we are poor, Margaret, that is why. But remember my promise. Before Martin works in the mines, we will send him to school. Poor or no, our Martin will still have the opportunity to be educated.
My father and mother spoke frequently of education, but I was then only 6, and for now, there was much work. Our family was increasing. I now had 3 brothers and 3 sisters. And it took much food to keep such a family satisfied. Even now, I can see the rough, gnarled, battered hands of my father as he worked in the mines. And with him, I see my dear mother, who day after day would go into the forest with us and carry load after load of wood upon her back. It was a stern life, not only in view of the need for hard work, but also in discipline. One day, my father arrived home with news that concerned all of us.
Margaret! Margaret, where are you?
Right here, Hans.
Oh, girl, there you are.
Hans, what is the matter? Why are you so excited?
I have good news. I don't have to work in the mine any longer.
Hans.
That's right. I am done with all of it. No more dust, no more...
What good fortune is this?
I have purchased a smelting furnace. Now we shall be our own masters. And we shall have enough to eat. And too, my dear, we shall be able to carry out our plans.
Plans?
Yeah. Martin will now be able to attend school.
And so we conclude Chapter 1 of The Monk of Wittenberg, the story of Martin Luther. This is another in the series, Stories of Great Christians, and is brought to you transcribed from the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago.